for a recording. Andrea, where are you? Are you teaching? Where do you teach? Who do you teach? And what board? Oh, I can't hear you. A little bit. Can you be a bit louder, Andrea, or? Oh, I can't hear it. Or maybe type. Sorry, Rachel. I couldn't hear any of that. Did anyone else hear Andrea? Sorry, everyone.
No.
No. Oh, Andrea, I was trying to lip read it so well. Maybe if you can fiddle with your mic, I can pop back to you in a minute, perhaps. If that's all right, sorry. How about Samuels? Where are you teaching? Who do you teach? What? Yeah.
I am from Devon, Axminster.
Okay.
We used to have sixth form, but it closed down 2 years ago.
Okay.
So it's just AQA GCSE.
Right.
And it's Christianity and Islam. So my focus at the moment I'm really struggling with is the Imamate in Shia Islam.
Yes.
That is my biggest nemesis right now.
Because also I teach AQA, and on the pre-release information they've got the Imamate, haven't they? So we know there's a question on it, don't we? The Imamate in Shia.
Absolutely.
Are your students okay, so my students come with a certain idea of Shia Islam, because most of my students are sort of, not because of that, but they are mainly Sunni Muslim students, and they're just baffled by the Imamate. It's like completely baffled by it. So we have.
I'm down in the southwest, so Devon is Axminster, very, very white, dominant area. So there's not much diversity, and they're like, oh, okay, you know. So it's totally different from Hertfordshire, where I used to teach, where the diversity, obviously, of students and culture is so different. So the good thing is they don't have a specific set idea of this is Sunni, this is Shia. It's very broad. So they're open to obviously learning, you know, both sides.
Yeah. Okay. So there's some advantages to that, isn't there? That they're, you know.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Well, I've got some things I can send to help with that. But it's definitely something a few people have talked about. I think because we do touch on it at A-level, it's kind of helped when I do it at GCSE.
Okay.
But I can. What's your email address? I'll have it.
Can I type it out?
I'll be able to find you because you got a ticket. Did you get your ticket under your name, Pile?
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to put your name on the chat, and that way I'll remember that it was you. So I'm just going to. It's like someone taking minutes, isn't it?
I just sent it on the chat as well.
Perfect, and then I'll know that that's. But it might be useful to everybody for me to send out bits that
Brilliant.
I've done. I don't know if anyone else has got things. Let's just add in a few more people. I feel like I need someone to add people, someone to take minutes. So Katie Norrell, do you want to say something about who you are, if there's anything?
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
So I teach in Kent, and I teach the OCR A-level along with AQA Christianity GCSE. So I don't teach the Islam GCSE, but I do know it fairly well. But yeah, teaching OCR Islam A-level for year 12 and year 13. So we're starting sort of more detailed revision now, and God is One is coming up as the topic that they're finding more difficult to revise. I think that's because we did it right at the beginning, so they're not sort of in tune with it anymore. And the sort of Mutazilites and Asherites is something that they find a little bit more difficult, something that I struggled to teach right at the beginning as well. So that's something that I need to focus on going over, definitely.
So last time, were you here last time when we had staff?
Yeah, I got all of those tips last time.
And then we have on the Padlet, I didn't make it, it was my colleague I used to have who's amazing. She taught that unit. She's got some quite good like revision activities. Don't know if you've seen the Padlet. There's a booklet, God is One, on there. So we use those quite a bit as well. Definitely.
I'm using that.
Oh, great.
I'm using that with year 12 at the moment. So I'm going to print that off for year 13 and get them to use that for revision. So those are really helpful.
Oh, brilliant. God is One. But anything else, I guess, if people have, we can send around. Katie, God is One, and you're in Kent. Shall we go to Rachel? Did you say your sound is do you think you could unmute and speak?
Yeah, hi, sorry. At the
Hi,
beginning, I
Rachel.
could see all of you speaking, but I couldn't hear anything at all. So I was just really battling. I thought, must have done something wrong, but I've just left and came back. So it's all good now, thankfully.
Oh.
So yeah, I teach in Hounslow. So
Okay.
very diverse, love it. We teach the EdExcel at GCSE. Everyone does the Christianity, and then the children choose which world religion they do.
Okay.
We have choices between Islam, Sikhism, and Hinduism. And then for A-level, we teach the EDUCAS, philosophy, ethics, and religion. And the religion is Islam.
Yeah. And do you find that do you feel kind of, I was, before this meeting, I was going to look through all the specs and see all the pre-release information, but I'm sorry, I haven't had a chance to do that yet. Is there anything on I was like, I'm going to be super organized with a big spreadsheet, but all the mocks, everything. Is there anything on there that you feel you would value extra input from anybody who's here, or do you?
To be honest, like for me, it's trying to keep the kids focused on their specific religion, especially A-level wise. Yeah. I really struggle with the fact that I still haven't taught the course. I've just finished my plan to the end of the year, and I have one lesson of revision with them. That's all I have. Everything else, I'm still teaching the final course, and I'm battling to kind of figure out resources that they could do at home. Yeah. To enrich it. And that's kind of my main thing as well.
Kind of like flip learning almost, where they do a lot of the things at home and then they come in and you're going back over.
Did you? Time is just so precious.
There's a really good blog that I saw. I should say the person, but I've forgotten the name. Who did she's done a really good blog for EDUCAS revision, with lots of like links to Quizlet cards and things like that.
Amazing.
I'm gonna have to find it and send it to you. So that's Rachel. If you do me a favor and pop your email in the chat, and then I will just remind myself. I could email it to you. So, and it's actually quite a useful blog for I might find it while we're talking, for different people with Islam actually. Let me see if I can. No, I think I'll just have to send it out later to stay here with everybody. Things about the Prophet Muhammad and Medina and things like this. And yeah, it's really good. So I will find the blog. I'll just put a note there to tell myself a blog to send to Rachel, anyone else who wants to EDUCAS really. Okay, now I'm going to thank you. That was Rachel. We've had Samuel. Is Ruth Barlow. Daniel, can you unmute and talk to us for a minute?
It's not Daniel, it's Sharon.
However, Sharon.
I'm having to use my son's laptop,
okay.
And he's also trying to practice his cello for his grade 5, so it's all a bit chaotic at the moment.
I think it's like that for everyone, yeah.
I teach at Wath Academy up in Rotherham, and I'm the only specialist there in the school of 11 to 18, and I'm the only A-level teacher. I do the EDUCAS and I do the Islam as well. I'm finding the amount of content that we're having to get through with all the trials extremely difficult.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of, I'm not going to be able to probably revise properly, which then is creating a problem. So if that blog, which you've said with the link to Quizlet and stuff, that would be useful for them to be able to do themselves.
I'm just trying to find it here because I know I emailed it to someone a while ago. Yeah, I mean, did EDUCAS, did they not lower the amount of content then for Islam, or did they not do that when they?
The last theme, theme 4, is in section A, which they are definitely going to be examined on. So that's the last bit that you teach, so you're still having to teach everything to the end. Same with the philosophy, it's theme 4, which is in the section A, which is definitely going to be on there.
Yeah.
And then with the ethics, they did do theme 1 for section A, but the teacher that had them last year did not teach it properly, and she went off on maternity leave, so I'm having to reteach that anyway. Yeah. So it's like kind of,
that is the exact, sorry to interrupt, that is the exact same position that I'm currently in.
Yeah,
literally word for word.
And it's picking up the pieces, isn't it, that we're all doing after COVID, I think. It's like that's how I feel. It's, you know, picking up. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
And also because I've not taught the ethics, I'm having to learn it myself, which she should have taught, to then teach it on top of the other stuff and carrying on. And it's just, then they're throwing extra trials in, which is taking even more time out. So I'm going to be teaching right up to probably the exam, which is scary.
Well, I guess that's why things like this are great for us to be able to share resources, because that saves the time of, you know, if there's anything that can help save that time and for the students. Yeah. Well, hopefully this blog might help you. I don't know if I'm sorry if you're the person who made it here. I did thank the person on one of the Facebook groups when I found them. I've forgotten the name of the person. I think it's brilliant. I think it's really good for ethics and philosophy as well. I guess it's just, yeah, the flipped learning, isn't it? Getting the kids to do some of the more work before the lesson, so that you're focusing more on, you know, going over misconceptions and things like that with them. Hopefully that'll help you, that blog anyway. And if anyone else has anything they want to share or any ideas for things, please use the space to talk about it. Thank you, Sharon. So we've had Chris SS. Are you there? I don't know who you are. Whether your name's Chris SS, are you there? Or Lucy, are you there, Lucy?
Sorry, I am.
Oh, you are here. Do you?
I am here.
Where are you teaching, and what spec? And have you got any particular needs? Or
I'm in
things you'd like to share?
Sheffield, and sorry, I'm in the process of trying to take my son to guitar. The wonderful life. Yeah, I teach in Sheffield. I actually went to Wath from the previous lady. I'm from Wath, so I appreciate that. Yeah, this is my first year through of teaching Islam A-level on the OCR spec.
Okay.
So yeah, I've got year 13s who are preparing for the exam, and then I do an EdExcel spec B, Christianity and Islam.
Okay. For
Religion and
GCSE.
ethics. Yeah. So I'm finding the A-level is pretty solid. The content, it's a big step up from my own like subject knowledge in the past. I've been teaching quite a long time, 15 years, but I've had a personal interest enough to kind of get me through. But I've used all the Padlet stuff, and I find anything I can get my hands on, to be honest. I think Ruth, I think you may have sent me stuff in the past, or some talented Ruth has in the past. Yeah, and just trying to get my way through the course. It's real. It's a hard.
No, go on. Sorry, carry on.
I'm on any group I can join. I've joined. I just try and get a background knowledge, really. I think obviously they've knocked it down to 4 topics, which is great.
Yeah.
But then I think the students and me fear how much you're supposed to know now for those 4 topics, because you're going to need to know a lot of depth, aren't you? Realistically, and they could get a little bit more tricky questions because the examiners know that. So like on Sufism, for example, which is pretty complex stuff, like self-purification and destroying the self and drunken and all. These are really abstract ideas.
Especially if you've got lower ability children as well. That trying to understand those topics is so hard, and for them to then try and evaluate them at the level that they're supposed to is really difficult, isn't it?
Well, that's what I was going to say next. I wouldn't say there's one particular area that shines out as one that I need to push or their understanding of, but it's more like being able to have a cogent evaluation enough to get the higher grades. We've got quite a lot of high ability students as well. So to be able to realistically present an evaluative argument, also for our Muslim students, who obviously I've got to always tread the line between what is evaluation and critique, and doing that in a fair way in a class that's mixed faith and atheists as well. If I find picking out the quality AO2 materials for Islam much harder than the ethics aspect, which I share with a colleague. So
I would agree with you on that, actually. And the access to like the content, I guess, in terms of like source materials or primary texts, or who were the Mutazilites, who were the Ash'arites, what is Sufism is one thing, but oh yes, please, Rachel. Sorry, okay, I'll just reply to a message I got here. I would, but it's the evaluation for Islam that I find harder to access, because I don't know whether that's why I like the textbooks and different resources that are made for philosophy and ethics, or maybe those discussions have just been going around for a lot longer in A-levels, so people have made them, you know. Whether it's sharing good examples of essays or evaluation that we each get, because maybe if you get one in your class, Chris, my class could benefit from reading it, you know, or if I've got a good example.
Yeah, I've got some really good examples, but I think it's taken a long time and I'm only first time through, so I reckon there's quite a lot more evaluation out there in the world.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's something
it's hard, isn't it?
We could have as a bit of a focus for the next meeting that we have, and people could come with example paragraphs or essays that they're happy to share with each other of topics and things that they think was really strong, or I think that could be quite a good,
we did it
similar for me, my students, and they can get overwhelmed by all the content, because for us there's no textbook. They could like Google Sufism and just get like ages and ages and ages and ages of things and not know like, okay, which is the bit I need to know. So I think that they can get like a bit swallowed up. And Sufism is definitely something I was going to ask everyone about, because it's something my department asked me to bring up, is not feeling like we've got enough example questions from Sufism. And I was wondering if any other examples have had questions on Sufism in the past that you might be able to point me towards when they've come up. We've had, I think, 2 so far with OCR. There's been one on the master and disciple relationship, and is Sufism central to Islam? I think that's the 2 that have, but I was wondering if anyone's had any other ideas of questions about Sufism, or if anyone's got any question banks they put together of potential questions on Islam. If we could share them or find a way to do that, I don't know.
I do. I have a question bank for Islam, which I've just invented.
Oh, brilliant.
Several questions for each topic. Although I don't think I ever got to the end of the course when I was doing that. So the ones that aren't going to be on the exam might not be covered, but
okay.
I could definitely send that through.
Would you be able, if you could email it to me, maybe I could compile them or put them on the Padlet for other people to see. I don't know how much people do use the Padlet. I just stick everything on there when I think it's helpful. So I could make a new column, example question.
I use it all the time.
Oh, great. Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah, it's so great. All the time.
Thank you. You know, you just put these things together and think, oh, hopefully I just find it an easy way to have everything allotted. So I think I'll add another one on of like example questions. And then it should be that anyone can add things in. I'll put it that you can then plonk on any questions or send them to me. Then I can add them on example questions. But I think for the next Teach Meet, where we're post exams, I would really like to have some input more on like building evaluation into Islam essays. I think that could be quite a good thing. If you feel like it's something you could speak about, any teachers here, that'd be great. Or if you could point towards someone you think, I mean, I've got my network of people that I asked to come and do things. But I think that could be a really good, useful thing for us.
Sorry, Ruth.
Yeah.
Where do you put the stuff? What's it called again?
Oh, I shall find it now. Let me just find the Padlet here. Islam, it's called an Islam at ALevel. I'll just find it now and I'll put it in the chat.
I've never heard of it before.
Oh, okay. How did you hear about this, Samuels? Is it Samuels or Samuel?
Sam.
How did you hear about this, Sam, today?
I got it from Facebook.
Oh, great. Okay. Are you in the group Islam at ALevel?
Islam Christianity.
Oh, fantastic. So I'll put 2 things on the chat now for everybody. I just assume everyone.
Good stuff. Thank you so much.
Oh, no worries. No, not at all. That's what this is for. So here's the Padlet. If you click on there, you should hopefully see that I've got recordings from previous Teach Meets, upcoming events I put on there. I haven't updated that recently, sorry. And then other things. So I had Waqar Ahmed came and did a session with my students. We recorded it, put it up about being Ahmadi and different, example essays and things. But I think I'll add another column on of like exam specific suggested sites for revision and you know, questions and things like that. So if anyone, and I'll leave it so that people can add on, you can plonk things there as well. If
brilliant.
Is that how? And then the second thing,
I've just seen it.
And the second thing is the Facebook group, which is, I'll just find that for you, everybody now. Should be this. I set it up as Islam at A-level, but also for GCSE or anyone really who's got an interest in it. And then there's lots of people on there who are quite expert as well, who we can ask things and find out from as well. And then if you're with OCR, everybody, I'm going to something called the OCR forum on Thursday. It's like a stakeholders forum, so I could raise any like particular concerns we have about Islam there as well, if people would like me to feed anything to if you're with OCR, anybody. Okay, I'm trying to remember who. I wish I had a way of ticking off who I've heard from. Was Lucy? Thank you, Chris. Is Lucy there?
Hi.
Hi, Lucy. How are you?
Hi. So I've also heard from this page through Facebook.
Oh, great.
So I'm at a secondary school in the Northwest. I'm maternity and ECT, and there's no other religious studies teachers in the department.
Wow.
So I'm teaching Key Stage 3 and Key Stage 4 religious studies, EduCast Route A by myself.
Okay.
At the moment, I'm struggling
as an ECT?
with regards. Yeah, as an ECT.
Oh, Lucy. Okay, yeah.
So at the moment, I'm struggling with regards to marking the EduCast past papers, the PPEs that the Year 11's doing.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's taking me a lot longer because I'm having to liaise with other members around the area.
Yeah. Crikey. So you're doing a maternity cover and you're marking them on your own.
Yeah.
Without, yeah. Okay. I wonder, is there any other school that you've been able to like moderate with or anything like that?
Yeah, there's a lady in the local area who I've been working with, but obviously she's got her own teaching job, so it'll take her a couple of days to get back to, or a week or so. So I've just kind of joined this just in the hope that I can get maybe some knowledge, some support in the foreseeable.
Does anyone else who's on here at the moment teach EduCast? Is it the GCSE?
GCSE, yeah.
Anyone else teach EduCast GCSE on here? Do you want to raise hand if you do? There might be in the kind of network of people that might possibly do EduCast GCSE. And is there any particular part of it, like to do with Islam, that you feel you would like more, we might be able to help with resources or ideas for?
I'd say knowledge organisers. I'm in the middle of creating quite a few, just quite concise, specific kind of core content, really.
Yeah.
Particularly the obligatory acts. My pupils seem to get quite confused and try to overcomplicate it more than it needs to be.
Yeah.
Someone in the chat has said.
Go on.
Someone in the chat has said that they teach Route A.
Mahum teaches. My mic's not working, but they teach EduCast Route A. But at least it's the same specs. There might be similar marking, maybe.
Yeah, I'm Route A, so I think it's the exact same.
So Mahum, are you happy to put your email in, and maybe Lucy could drop you an email after this? Oh,
Ruth?
Yes, Sam.
Sorry, my partner John Maylard was the ex-chief examiner for the EduCast.
Oh.
So he can help Lucy?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that would be amazing.
And I was like, I hope this is helpful for somebody. One person is helped by us doing this today.
Lucy, do you mind sending me your email on chat? I'll save you Emma. Okay, brilliant, my lovely. Thank you.
Oh,
thank you so much.
To know, Sam. That's very.
And he's done OCR and IB and stuff like that. So.
Oh, great.
If you guys need any help with stuff like that, just let me know.
Okay. And what's your email, Sam? Oh, you've put it in already, haven't you, earlier?
Okay. Can I put yours on there? Yeah. Right. I will put my partner's email on. He said it's okay.
Okay.
John Maylard at.
So you're both RE teachers?
Yeah, he's written the exam textbooks and stuff for AQ, for OCR and things like that.
Oh, wow, great. Oh, what a wonderful power RE couple.
There's his email that come through now.
Fantastic. Okay.
And if you guys need A-level and GCSE help, if you can just email him and tell him from where, obviously, from the course, and he'll get back to you with resources, help, and whatever he can, to help.
Fantastic.
Whenever it is. Brilliant. So that's his email address. And whenever you guys need any help, whoever, especially Lucy, if you need help with marking, my lovely, I know I've got ECTs at school in other subjects and they're really struggling at the moment. So just let him know you got the email now, and he'll help you wherever he can. Okay.
Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that.
No problem, my darling. No problem at all.
Happy. So Mamoon, you were saying your mic's not working, but did you have any questions or topics or anything you'd like to have support with, Mamoon? Mahoon. And then I don't think I've heard from Daniel. Have we heard from Daniel yet? Is your mic working, Daniel?
No, it's not Daniel.
Oh, it's Sharon, of course. We haven't heard from Daniel because you're Sharon. Fantastic. So
yeah, I'm so sorry.
No worries. Sorry, it's my fault. I should remember. If Mahoom had anything particular. So yeah, I mean, just waiting to see if any more typing comes. No, fantastic. Is there any, just generally from everybody, anything else, any tips for particular things for revision that are helpful, or any sites that you found that are really good? I mean, I've shared the blog that I found that was really handy, and obviously I'm putting what I can on the Padlet, or any video explanations you found that are useful, that kind of thing. You can just unmute and say what you found helpful to everybody, or pop it in the chat. Or I don't know if everyone's just too busy doing other things. Have we still got Ruth, are you still there? Or Chris? I think I'll take from this that
I am still here. Sorry, I've managed to throw coffee all over my laptop and break my kitchen chair, so it's just a gift of a day.
Oh no, that's okay.
No, I have not. I've really struggled to find resources. I think some of the clips that we use are like far less than ideal. One of the reasons that we picked Educast in the first place was because it had the textbooks, but I find it really difficult.
Yeah,
I find it really difficult.
I asked a question without knowing what I'd be able to answer. Is there a particular topic or subject that's harder?
If you manage, it's across the board hard. For us, we're a very diverse school, so in that sense we've got a head start, so it's not like lots of the topics aren't new, or so in that sense it's a bonus. But I think for me it's about getting the students to write in the depth that it requires, and kind of getting the nuance that they really struggle with, really. But I really struggle with that, all of it, really.
I found, because I was helping a school last year with the Educash ALevel, and I just found, because I teach OCR, I found the textbook and the kind of spec to be quite sort of surfacey. I don't know. And coming from OCR, where it's like, I feel like there's quite a lot of depth with the scholars, and like I say, we've got the Metazolites and the Asherites and kind of the history of philosophy. I just found that Educast does feel a bit, that's how I felt when I was reading through it. And I thought that was something that would have made me think twice about it. But I don't know. And you have the different question styles, don't you, with Educast? Or is it just one essay that they're writing?
You do have the different question styles. So 20 is AO1, 30 is AO2, but they get a choice. Because we used to teach EdXL, but the textbooks, or the lack of textbooks, just in our situation, just made it prohibitive in the end, and we kind of changed. But I think giving students a choice was one of the winners of the whole thing.
We were like, oh, why don't we go with one with the textbook? But then we actually found in the exam that we did, before COVID happened, our students did do better in Islam, even though we thought that wasn't going to happen because sorry sir, because maybe it was the fact that they had to learn it without a textbook. I'm not sure. Well, if there's any particular aspects that we can have a look at, like in a future session, is there like maybe now's a good chance for people to say what they might like in future times we meet together like this? If there's an area or a topic that you would appreciate that sort of depth from for different people. Perhaps maybe the Shia, because someone's mentioned the 10 obligatory acts, someone else has mentioned the imamate. Should we see if we can get, oh, thanks, Chris, somebody as a Shia representative to speak to us as a group? I don't know if people would find that helpful.
Yeah, I would definitely love that. Thank you. That would be great.
And then let's see if they can tailor it quite specifically to what's on our specs. Imamate. It was Sam, you said about the imamate, didn't you? And then the obligatory acts. Fantastic. Okay, and then maybe
can I talk about the evaluation stuff again?
And then around the evaluation as well. So
if there's anything as well that people refer, I've been buying books, which I love to do, but I haven't got a massive budget. But like ones like Why I'm Not a Muslim, which is a PDF actually. And then
what's that?
It's yeah, I can send you a copy. It's online. It's on Googleable. Why I'm Not a Muslim. So it goes through some of the areas that might be contentious.
Yes.
And like was a Muslim and now isn't.
Well, actually, what I was going to say is something I found that really helped me is a podcast, but they are quite contentious, called The Secular Jihadists. And they are two ex-Muslims who, although Ali Rizvi calls himself he's written a book called The Atheist Muslim and talks about being a secular Muslim. And I just find listening to them, it's not necessarily something I'd play to the kids, but I get to hear those kind of completely different views on something. Like, I don't necessarily agree with everything they say, but I find that I get that opposite side to what I might get when I'm looking just at like Islam online. Just like I would if I was to read, you'd read Bertrand Russell, Well, I'm Not a Christian, wouldn't you, to sort of see those different views about Christianity. So actually, I'll put the link here, but just be warned that not warned. I mean, anyway, we're all adults, but I just, I wouldn't necessarily give it to the kids to listen to, but they've done things about Hadith, the Quran, and I just trying to get my head around even how the Quran was like compiled physically, what happened. Listening to them, I found it just in conjunction with lots of other sources, I found them a really good play. I'll put the link to what they are just here. And
the book, you mentioned a book then as well. Can you link
and
that?
The book was, Ali Rizvi. I'll just find the Secular Jihadists here. Yes. This is helpful.
Is the books that you would recommend to students?
I don't know. I've not read it actually. I've just seen him do interviews about it and talk about it. I should get a copy for us to have in our department actually. He just goes through his issues with like what it was, the different, like, because we teach gender equality and it's on the spec, it's on the pre-release, isn't it, information for OCR. Yeah. And so I talk quite a bit with my students about Surah Nisa 434 with them, and he's like got a bit that he talks about in his book around that as well. So I might take sections of it, and you use it to sort of discuss that perspective. Yeah, a book list would be good actually for people. I have got on the Padlet some suggested books, but if people have other books they find that are useful, feel free to add them. So that's The Secular Jihadist. The Muslim Atheist is Ali Rizvi. And again, I'm not saying I agree with everything he says. I'm just sort of, giving that evaluative side. And then what was the third thing I was going to say? And a book I absolutely love is, I found for my own understanding is this one from Reza Aslan. I don't know if people read this one. No God but God. Oh no, hang on. Is that the one? Yes, about Islam. They're three things I found helpful when I first started teaching the course, just to get different perspectives on things. Great. I don't know if I basically have to go off and do some photocopying for tomorrow before they lock the building up, but I would just want to give a few more minutes if anyone else has comments or suggestions. At the moment, I'll see if I can source someone to present to us about different Shia things, specifically the obligatory acts and the imamate, and other bits I might find on the different specs that kind of go across the specs, and then someone else who can run through some ideas of like to do with evaluation. And I think I'll suggest that people bring along to the next one, like a good example of an essay or a paragraph or some really strong, yes, that's a good idea. Angels, yes. Yeah, like the role of angels, I guess. I know in the GCSE spec, angels, yeah, go on, Lucy.
Sorry, yes, so my textbook and the specification is quite vague, and my year 11s have just answered a question on the angel Michael, so a little bit more information. Obviously I can do my outside research, but maybe coming together and talking about it might be quite helpful.
And I know in the A-level there's questions around the role of angel Jibril as well, isn't there, to do with prophecy of revelation, so he features quite a bit in the A-level as well. Okay. Great. I think that gives us quite a bit, me quite a bit to find for next time, and us quite a bit to cover next time together.
Let me sort this out. Ruth.
Yes.
And Lucy, sorry, I've got some stuff that a friend of mine wrote years ago on angels in Islam.
Oh. Great.
Oh, amazing.
And she's been obviously chief examiner and loads of things. She's passed on, now, bless her soul. But Lucy, what I'll do is, darling, I'll send you the link.
Thank you so much.
With that information, and you can use it from there. And obviously, and if anyone else needs it, just email me and I'll forward it on to you guys as well.
Oh, that's
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Samuel, you're very connected in the RE world, aren't you? What else have you got hiding in your emails that you could send us?
I've written the OCR book for A-level.
Oh, fantastic. What, philosophy and ethics or Islam or general?
I've done the Dietrich Bonhoeffer and the God aspect.
Oh, brilliant.
I've done a GCSE textbook as well on booster exam stuff.
Oh, fantastic.
And I've also done articles for RE Today as well.
And how would you be on talking to us all about good evaluation and essays at A-level? Would that be something you feel is a strong point for you?
I wouldn't say strong point, but yeah, I could do that.
Or some tips or different things from your understanding of, you know, that side of resourcing side and, you know, the spec side. That'd be amazing if you felt it could be something you could help us with next time.
Yeah, absolutely. If you just send me information and I'll do my best to put stuff together, and yeah.
Fantastic, great. All right, and if we all come with some examples of different things, and I'll bring some examples of essays as well. So the lady, she's called Sharon, I think. Chris. Fantastic. Oh, this is brilliant. Okay. Well, I think I might wrap it up and say goodbye, everybody, unless anyone else has anything they'd like to say. Sorry, that was short but sweet, but I thought it was just good to kind of check in, really, and then have a bit of a longer session in the summer, the second half of the term, after half term, if everyone thinks that's a good time, hopefully, when the exams are kind of underway or, you know, that kind of thing. In the meantime, feel free to email, contact on the Facebook, or, you know, put things up on the Padlet as well. Yeah, I don't know if anyone else wants to say anything, and then we can say goodbye.
Can I just ask, will the next event be on Facebook like it was this time, or?
Yeah, I'll put it, and also because you've got a ticket to this, you'll be on the mailing list. So I'll send out a mail when the next one's going to be as well. I may be moving house between now and the next time, moving country. Hopefully this is the plan, to France. So I may be sat in a more beautiful setting next time, we'll see. But that's why I can't like say the date right now, because I'm not quite sure what we're doing. But hopefully it will be between like the half term and it'll be like a June time. But in the meantime, if people want to get in touch and ask questions, they can as well. Okay, everyone.
Thanks, Reece.
No worries. Thank you so much for coming. I hope everyone has a good rest of your week.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Thanks for coming.
Bye. Bye.